Welcome, friends, to a productive day in the life 6 a.m. edition. It's actually 5:30 a.m. edition, which is when I woke up, but it doesn't have the same catchiness to it. It just doesn't sound the same. But I did wake up at 5:30 and start running around all over the place because today is my reset day, and not only are Thursdays my reset days, but they are also work-intensive days because there's always stuff to do and stuff to hand in before the week is over. So laundry is getting done right now because there is a shit ton of it every single week, and I try and get it all done in a single go so that I don't lose the motivation, because it's not the washing portion that's the trouble, it's the folding and putting shit up. So I try and get it all done as fast as I can in a single day. We also have to clean out the kitchen, pantry, fridge, reorganize everything to make sure that things are making sense and that it feels good. Also have to organize my credenza in my living room, which is a mess. There's a bunch of stuff that I need to throw out. I have like old candle containers even that I have not cleaned out yet, and so need to make sure to sort through all of that. The office is already done because that's what we started out the day with. On top of that, I also have a live show at 5. I have to finish the book for the live show, and then I also have to film 2 sponsorships, send those out to the brands, and I have to edit a Patreon exclusive video that is going up later today, and I also have to go to the gym in like an hour. So it's gonna be a busy day. Bear with me, I'm gonna bring you guys through all of it, and this is the starting look of the day. A very tired girl. I haven't been sleeping well recently. I don't know what's been happening, but I've been sleeping so poorly or going to bed super late because I just end the day late, and it's not been great. So I'm hoping for some like really good rest and relaxation soon, but a girl is a bit sleep deprived and very tired, so just trying to stay afloat, friends, while also taking care of myself as much as I can. I've been seeing friends and family a lot for the past week and a half, and it's gonna continue for the rest of the week, but I've been seeing a bunch of them very frequently, more frequently than I typically do, and socializing is great. As an extrovert, love it, but I also need to recharge, and not a lot of recharging has gotten done, so that's like the sad bit. But overall, it's been a good couple of days. It's just been a good September after a really, really rough August and summer, so I'm thankful for what I can get in terms of like the good vibes. There's that. How are you guys doing? Let a girl know. Let me update you also on my current reads, because there's 3 of them at the moment. Quick pause, friends, before we carry on with the video. I do have to give a massive thank you to Scentbird for sponsoring today's video. Don't we all know it that perfume, fragrances, colognes are all so expensive? You go to buy a full-size bottle, it's anywhere between $150 to $500. It is such a ridiculous experience, but Scentbird is here to make it easier for all of us. Scentbird is a fragrance subscription where you can get designer fragrances for just $17 every single month. What's cool is that they have over 600 fragrances and colognes, ranging from brands like Gucci, Prada, Versace, all the way to Skylar, Heretic, and Confessions of a Rebel. So you've got a wide array to choose from, and you get to choose your fragrance every single month so that it's not a surprise. What's also cool is that you can cater the subscription however you want to. You can't skip or cancel at any given moment, so it really is a hassle-free experience. The new packaging is also stunning. It comes in a beautiful pouch that says Scentbird, and now the actual packaging has color. It's so stunning, and you can literally just open this. It's magnetic, so it's super easy, and then you open it, and then you just spray yourself. It smells so good. Oh my god, that smells amazing. One of my favorite scents that they sent over was Mirrored Image by Murillo Twins. Exactly the one I just showed you guys. It's got bergamot, pear, rose, jasmine, and orange flowers, so it's got a little bit of everything, and it just smells so fresh and good. I could literally bathe in this. They also sent Skylar's Peach Field, which has got white peach and sandalwood. I love anything woody. It just gives it a nice little touch. And Lost for Fun, which has coconut waters. It's got vanilla. It's got freesia. It's just got a bunch of cool notes to it, so I'm quite happy with these. Also, the color range. I've been using Scentbird since I was literally 16. It's been a while. It's literally been 7 years. I love them so, so much. So I'm just saying, use code MREADS to get 55% off for your 30-day perfume supply. It comes at around $7. You can't beat that. I present to you my 3 current reads. We have got Legendary by Stephanie Garber. This is the 2nd book in the Caraval series. Vespertine by Margaret Rogerson, which I didn't know was part of a series, but it's the 1st book in a series apparently. And then Romantic Comedy by Curtis, oh god, Sittenfeld, which I've heard really good things about, but also kind of iffy things about, but I was curious, and the audiobook is really good. So these are the 3 ongoing things at the moment. I'm 40% through Legendary, and this is what I really want to get back into. I haven't read Legendary in like a solid couple of days, and I'm really enjoying this. I didn't think I'd enjoy this more than book 1, because Caraval was already a really great experience, and I gave it 4 stars. And I was like, well, well, typically second books in series don't really raise the bar. They don't really end up being kind of 5 stars, but I do think this is gonna end up being a 5-star. Instead of following Scarlet as we do in the first book, we follow Donatella in this one as she retries the Caraval games, but with whole new stakes, a whole new game. And with Donatella specifically, there are so many moving parts involved, from Legend himself all the way to the Fates, which is very unlike what we saw in book 1. So we're getting a bunch of world expansion on this one, from the magic system to the actual, I guess, gods that have presided over the world in years past. The Fates are no longer part of the landscape, but they are making their way back in this book, and it's very, very interesting. We see Jax for the first time, which if you've read Once Upon a Broken Heart, we see him there most prominently. He is one of the main characters, but he is also one of the main characters in this book, which is quite fascinating. And whilst I found Donatella incredibly annoying in book 1, I am loving her in book 2. The book is very, very good. It moves so quickly, and Stephanie Garber just has a way with words, truly. She sneaks in the lyrical bits so sneakily and like so well, the point where it's not overwhelming, because purple prose can oftentimes be very overwhelming. Things like The Starless Sea can be too much at times, and so I like that she knows when to pull in the lyricism and those beautiful lines and paragraphs. It's a constant throughout the entire book, but it's not something that makes it hard to read. Like, it's still very accessible. And then I have Vespertine, which is the book club pick for Lou Fantasma, which is a book club I run with Liv over on Patreon. This was last month's pick, but today's a live show. And honestly, I am infamous for reading and finishing the books the day before and of the live show. And so it's a whole thing. But I'm really enjoying this. Margaret Rogerson really is very gifted at making up these stories that feel very unique, very new, very unlike what resides in the YA fantasy sphere, which I really do appreciate. While I didn't love Sorcery of Thorns, I really loved The Enchantment of Ravens upon a reread, and this is really, really good. The vibes are nun-core, so The Conjuring Nun, vary that, make it fantasy, make it less spooky, but still with a little bit of spooks. Vespertine sets up a world where the dead can potentially not rest. If the dead body is not cleansed and undergone a very specific ritual presided by a Grey Sister, that spirit can become malevolent and it can haunt the living. And so our main character, Artemisia, is training to be a Grey Sister. Lo and behold, her convent is attacked by possessed soldiers, and she is told to flee with a saint's relic to keep it protected and to make sure it doesn't fall on the wrong hands. That saint's relic holds a revenant, which is like the utmost malignant spirit it could ever hold. And because she protects this relic and because she wears it, she has the ability to utilize the revenant in order to enhance her own ability, her own power. But in turn, the revenant wants her. The revenant wants to possess her and fully take over her body. And really the only people able to use a saint's relic, because it's so dangerous, are the Vespertines, and that is an art that has been lost throughout years and years. And so now Artemisia finds herself with an artifact that she doesn't know what to do with a revenant that speaks back to her, and it's sort of very compliant while also being threatening at the same time, and having to navigate an art of what is lost. And it is so very interesting and unique, and the book presents the information in such a great way where it doesn't feel info dumpy, and on top of that, it explores the world so seamlessly despite being such a short book. And honestly, Margaret Rogerson trusts her to do that, because all of her books are on the shorter end, less than 400 pages, but the way that she manages to establish the world in set page count is really, really impressive. So I'm having a good time with it. I'm listening to the audiobook, and the audiobook is quite good, so I'm doing that while diamond painting. And then romantic comedy. Made my way here after my 1-star Goodreads reviews, choose the books I read video. We have Sally, who's the main character, and she is a writer for an SNL akin show called Late Night Owls. And while she is working there, she meets a musical guest who is also a host one week, and we see her throughout that week very intensely as she writes her skits, as she rehearses her skits, as she meets said host and develops some sort of connection with him. And then part 2 focuses more on said connection that they might have developed and them interchanging emails with each other during the pandemic. So the pandemic is a part of the book, just as a forewarning, because I didn't see that anywhere in the synopsis and it kind of was a bit of a surprise. It's interesting in the way that the book navigates the whole thing, because we get to see like the SNL type show thing so closely. It kind of gives you a really intimate look at how everything works, which was honestly fascinating. I was really enjoying my time with it. And the whole point of the book is that because of the show she is in, she has developed like the Danny Horst rule or the Danny Horst theory. In the niche she resides, very unattractive men, or perhaps more unattractive men, end up dating really successful, really stunning women that are technically outside of their league, and she wants to prove the facts that that is true. And I guess the point of the book is showcasing a romance that is more realistic, where things don't always happen the way you want them to. Sometimes it takes time, sometimes mistakes are made throughout the way, and that love is a really unpredictable thing. And so that part of like the realism of it all I am enjoying, because they don't get together while they are on the show. And now where I am at, which is honestly towards the end of the book, I have like 2.5 hours left of the audio. Now towards the end of the book is that they're meeting again after 3 years of not seeing each other. And so it feels more fateful, I guess, that after such a long time they've reconnected with each other. But Sally really is the definition of Delulu, the Delulu we all are, where you really try and make a meaning out of anything relating to a potential crush or somebody that you like, just because you want them to like you back, and you start making up all these ideas in your head and you start projecting them onto the person, and really none of that is actually happening. It's just all up here. Sally is very much like that. So I guess it's, you know, she is all of us, because I think all of us have gone through that at some point in our lives. But that's kind of the book. It's interesting, but am I enjoying it? I am enjoying the narrator. I don't know that I'm loving the book. It's an interesting experience, because honestly, the only reason why I'm still listening to it is because of the narrator. I'll probably talk to you after I'm back from the gym, honestly, because I need to go to the gym in like an hour. So, and as well, just update you after. Oigan, me perdóname las fachas. I genuinely look demolished right now, but a girl came back from the gym and I've just been at it the entire time. It is now 12:34 and we have replied to the last 2 videos, comment sections. I've edited the 2 integrations, the sponsorships that I needed to send out to sponsors. So all of that is with my media manager so that they can take care of sending those over to the brands that these correspond to. And then they also came to fix my front door. I forgot that was even happening today, but my front door was kind of grazing at the top and it was a little stiff. Like I had to extra push it for it to go out, for it to go in, I guess. And so they came over at 10 so that they could fix it. Took about an hour, but it's done. The front door is finally working properly again. And they also double checked my kitchen lamp, which is like blinking, but I think we're gonna have to get a new one. So there's that. And now I'm going to eat a little something because I'm very, very hungry. And the last 2 loads of laundry are also out so that I can fold those, put those in the closet, and then after that is done, need to sit back down, edit a Patreon exclusive video, and then keep on going with the day. So we're running, but you know, at least the gym's done and all of the like imperative important stuff is done. Everything else now, except for finishing Vespertine, it's kind of more lax. I do have a bit of a headache forming. It's because I haven't taken my meds today. So I need to do that just now and then eat a little something. Vespertine live show is in an hour. The book has been finished, and I do have to say, it may just be my favorite Margaret Rogerson book so far. I, again, didn't love Sorcery of Thorns. I really enjoyed An Enchantment of Ravens upon a reread, but this one's just so unique, from the spirit, nun, priest, religious aspect to the exploration of trauma through the lens of religion and how that can potentially be healing, while still exploring and not turning a blind eye to the inner corruptions of church and religious systems, and also having a main character who, although at first she's very like anxious and afraid of being social and having friends and having a sense of found family, she slowly but surely grows into someone who is not afraid to make connections, someone who is not afraid to set boundaries, and somebody who has a found family by the end of it all, which is so beautiful. The atmosphere building, as always, is on point, and Margaret Rogerson is again able to do that in such a short amount of time, which is always very impressive to me. The different levels to the spirits and how, depending on the way you die, you're like a different rank of spirit, and that obviously affects the way that you manifest yourself as a spirit, was also super interesting. The Joan of Arc picture that Margaret Rogerson explores as well, of somebody who is claimed to be a saint and yet is not a saint, was also super fascinating, because the main character, once she starts going into the whole Vespertine aspect of being able to withstand and use a saint's relic, she is considered to be a saint because of it, and everybody says that she is universe God sent because she is the one that after such a long time is able to do that. I don't know quite yet when I'm rating it, whether a 4 or like a 5-star, but I do think it's like more along, oh, maybe I should rate it 4.5. I'm not sure, but I really enjoyed it, and the audiobook was quite good as well. So Margaret Rogerson is turning around for me. I also feel like, coincidentally enough, all of the bits that I liked about Sorcery of Thorns were present in this book, while also having so many other elements that I enjoyed. The whole animal companion part, the whole, there's like this demonic evil spirit of a kind that is supposed to be super menacing and like super standoffish, but is actually super friendly. I love the Revenant in this book. And so I think that maybe if you read Sorcery of Thorns, maybe this one doesn't feel wholly new, maybe in some ways, because she does sort of reuse and recycle certain points and certain archetypes that she uses very specifically in her books. But for me, because I didn't love Sorcery of Thorns, I think it was like anillito al dedo, señores. I really enjoyed it. So there's that. And now we open packages. Let's unbox some things, friends. Okay, so I got this package from New Jersey. It says time sensitive too. I don't know what this is, to be quite honest. I think if I have any guesses, it may be the stickers. Remember how I mentioned them in one of my previous vlogs that I bought stickers to decorate my Kindle? I'm hoping it's that, but I don't know why it'd come in a package like this. As long as they're here, because it's been a hot second, I'm happy. I just don't fully know. Oh, this is a diamond painting. Oh no. So as you guys know, I love diamond painting. Love it so much. And Miss Liv filling in this diamond painting, and I was like, yes, I want it for myself. Send over the link. And she definitely did, because I definitely bought it. This is a very beautiful street view, and I loved it, honestly. So might as well, you know, get it. This is gonna keep me entertained whenever I get to it. We've got a massive package from Simon Teen, and it looks like quite a big book. Oh, there's several books in. A few years back, I read A Cuban Girl's Guide to Tea and Tomorrow, and I loved this book so much. It was so wholesome. And then I got Laura's newer release, which is A British Girl's Guide to Hurricanes and Heartbreak. And I am so excited about this. You guys, this brings me so much joy. It doesn't have anything under the dust jacket, but this just brings me so much joy. I didn't think I'd get this, but this is phenomenal. Thank you so much to Simon Teen. In this companion to the best-selling A Cuban Girl's Guide to Tea and Tomorrow, Flora Maxwell heads to Miami, so it's in reverse. So fun. To find a path for her future and finds her heart along the way. Oh my god. Oh, this is gonna be so good. I just know it. It's gonna be, I want to cry. Winchester, England has always been home for Flora, but when her mother dies, oh no, after a long illness, it's gonna be so sad. Flora feels untethered. Her family expects her to apply to university and take a larger role in her tea shop business, but Flora isn't so sure. So she decides to escape to Miami without telling anyone, especially her longtime friend, Gordon Wallace. But Flora's tropical change of scenery doesn't cast away her self-doubt. Flora's summer abroad lands her in in the flashbulb world of teen influencer Baz Marin, a Miami Cuban who shares her love for photography. That's so wholesome. Probably going to love it. So thank you so much to Simon Teen for sending those over. We have got Carisa's birthday gift. She is a huge Lord of the Rings fan. We are currently also casually watching the extended versions, which I've already watched before and I love them, but we're rewatching the extended editions at the moment. And so I thought for her birthday, I could get her the super special Stenciled Edge edition of Lord of the Rings. And this has got all of the books bound into a single thing. This is a weapon. Like, this is heavy. I'm gonna leave the plastic on just because I don't want to like touch the book too much, especially because I'm going to wrap this. And so I'd rather wrap it on top of the plastic rather than without it. I've also never gotten a book that I've bought through Amazon with plastic, but I do appreciate it. I wonder if it's because it's like a special edition and so they're going out with like the protection. And then the other thing that got here is my brother's birthday present. So I got him the Star Wars archive. He's been wanting this for a really long time, and I decided to go ahead and get this for him. There are two different editions, so like one for the prequels, this is for the prequels, and then another one for the original trilogy. And they do these archives for other things as well. I saw they had a Stanley Kubrick one. Do you want to get him that for Christmas? And these are licensed, so these are not just like some random archives you're gonna get. These are like the real thing in collaboration with, you know, the estates of authors and directors and production houses and whatnot. So this is very exciting. Need to wrap that. All that to say, going to make some lunch, going to make some shrimp with some mash really quickly because we are turning this live show officially. I'm hijacking it. We're turning it into, we're talking about the book, but Mel is also having lunch while we're here because it's about to be 5 p.m. and I have yet to have lunch. I had breakfast very late. Or it's gonna make some quick shrimp because it is the quickest thing we can cook in the span of time we have got. So we're gonna keep it simple. We got butter, we have got white wine vinegar, we have got lemon pepper seasoning, and then we have got some Worcestershire sauce. We're gonna go from there. And I've got water boiling for what is going to be instant mash because we can't think too much about it. So let's do it, friends. It is now 7:49 and the girl is tired. I just wrapped my brother's and Carisa's birthday presents. They're looking so stunning, and I organized my credenza, particularly the Hunt a Killer game section, and threw out some empty candles that I had just stored back in the credenza instead of throwing them away as far as like the containers go. And so took care of that, and then I organized my fridge, which also needed organizing. That shit is messy. We had a barbecue last Sunday. Well, at the time you're seeing this, it's gonna be like 2 Sundays ago, but we had a barbecue and it was lovely. It was a great time, but we went through my fridge and we were taking out like sauces and condiments and sides to make like salads and whatnot, and the fridge got very messy, and I didn't look at it up until today, which is Thursday. And so there's that. Thankfully the pantry is okay and the cupboards and all that good stuff is also good, but the credenza in the fridge needed help. So there's that. We have completed the to-do list for for the day, which is great because it took so long. I've officially been awake for all of almost 15 hours, which is a time. Now I am going to sit down and relax and read some of Legendary. I did, however, listen to most of NSYNC's Madison Square Garden concert as I was tidying up and wrapping gifts, so I just listened to 40 minutes of that, and that was fucking fantastic. Also washed my hair, which was on the bracket for the day because it was super dirty and it needed some help. Both arms are braced up. That's the newest update. Talked about it briefly in the last video, but I got diagnosed with carpal tunnel. That was fun. It was actually really good. Getting diagnosed with something is never fun, and it's very emotionally taxing, and in the midst of trying to find exactly what's wrong, it's just so uncertain and so stressful and anxiety inducing because not knowing just makes your brain kind of go a million miles per hour where you make up ideas in your head of what it could be, which is why I had to get my thyroid checked, and I almost got an arthritis exam to kind of rule that out, but after some testing we found carpal tunnel, which given the line of job, I don't think it's that surprising. My brother had warned me about it a few years back. He was like, you need to change your setup because you're going to fuck yourself over in the long run, and he was not wrong. Here we are. Thankfully though, now that I've got my arms braced up, I use both of these when I'm going to bed, and then throughout the day after I'm back from the gym, I just kind of take it on and off throughout the day depending on the activity. And let me tell you, the tingling and the itching I had all around my hands and around my arms is gone, which is so good. That bit was so stressful because obviously having answers for my temporomandibular disorder, I was like, okay, so that's that, but that's like an isolated thing that shouldn't really be affecting the rest of the body like that. And I was so worried about the tingling. It turned out to be carpal tunnel, so at least manageable. So there's that. I'm on treatment for 4 weeks with meds and using these every day, and that's kind of the latest. And let's pray and hope that there's not anything else for a girl because this is more than enough. Now that we're in the living room also, let me just mention, at some point in the next few months, I'm gonna be uploading a very decorating heavy vlog because I am redoing a lot of my living room. First of all, my dining room chairs were the worst investment I made. I knew that a lot of the pieces that I was investing in would only be short term because of the budget I had, especially with the couch and dining room chairs. Both of those things are typically so expensive, and sadly here in Panama, for the aesthetic I was going for, there weren't a lot of inexpensive options, and so I tried to find and you know, search for more affordable options, and I did find some, but like we say in Spanish, lo barato sale caro, what's cheap turns out to be more expensive because then you have to fix it, replace it, whatever. And so I am looking to switch out my dining room chairs very soon, as well as my couch. I just want something that accommodates maybe a few more people if I can find something that works, but also something more comfortable because the couch, although it's very pretty and I love the burnt orange shade, you know, the same one that I've got on my bar stools, it is not the most comfortable couch ever. And so definitely want to switch that out. So at some point in time, that's gonna happen. And then my aunt also is painting me a painting, very redundant, but she's making me a piece because she is a painter. And so I am very excited. I'm obviously paying for it and everything, but we've been going back and forth with the size I want, with the colors I want, and with what I kind of like want it to like convey like emotionally, I guess. And so it's been a really good progress. We chatted about it a bit more last Saturday that we saw each other over at her house when I went to her studio. And so changes are coming to the living room, which is very exciting. And you guys will see it when it gets here. And also, let me show you my current diamond painting because I haven't done that. I showed it on Instagram and a bunch of you guys asked me where it was from. I was not expecting that, to be honest. I love diamond painting and audiobooking, and that was what I was currently doing in that moment. And I got so many DMs of people asking me like, Mel, where is this from? And I was like, oh my god. Okay. I got it from Diamond Art Club, which is where I got my newest 2 diamond paintings. It's so stunning and I've made too much progress with it. I say too much because it's expensive, so I was trying to pace myself, but I listened to all of Immortal Longings and Vespertine in the past like 72 hours, and so I tend to diamond paint when I audiobook, so let me show it to you. It's this one right here. Look at it. It's so pretty. It's a witch's bedroom. Look at everything I've done. I've got have problems. I literally sat down and I read both of these books and I was like, yes, I'm diamond painting the entire time. Let me just get the chair out of the way. Please hold. It's so pretty. I love it so much. Honestly, Diamond Art Club has got some really beautiful, stunning stuff. It's not cheap in comparison to the Amazon ones you can get. This is pricier, but honestly, I can see why, because it's actually got a canvas at the back. So it's not like a plasticky material. It's got a canvas. The drills, which are the little beads, are so nice. It's extra shiny in comparison to other ones I've done. These ones are squared. Let me just get near. These ones are squared, if you can see that. And honestly, the actual render is so high definition. The way that everything lines up just is so perfect. Square drills are kind of cool because you can't see the gaps in comparison to the round drills. And I can't wait to get it done. It's gonna look so freaking good. Don't know what I'm gonna do with it at the end. I don't know that I'm framing it or like storing it. I got no idea. I got this container for all of the beads and stuff. You guys also asked about this on my Instagram. Got it on Amazon. I'll leave the links down below in case you guys want to check them out. Love this so much. It brought a few tools like a tray, a separator, applicators, glue, and just like a bunch of the essentials. But what's cool, oh my god, I'm dropping stuff already. What's cool, it's that it's got the cylinders so that you can store the little beads, the drills. So it's got 60 of these containers and you can just store everything in there. And it's convenient because you don't have everything kind of thrown around, which is what bothered me before when I diamond painted, was that yes, it's a very peaceful activity, but it was also very messy and I don't like mess. And so there's that. Those are my two new acquirements for diamond painting and I'm very happy about them. And now we go read Legendary and also make the to-do list for tomorrow because I have a shit ton to do tomorrow as well. And I've got a readathon this weekend with my patrons, and so want to make sure that everything is kind of scheduled out, that I have got like a good notion of what the heck is happening for the next few days. That's what we're doing. So let's get it all done. Friends, I am so tired and I am ready to go to bed. I was trying to read some more of Legendary, but I got 2 chapters more into the story before I started fading and I started nodding off. So not really a productive time, but I did have dinner as well and I am ready. I'm also getting like a pressure headache and a bit of kind of, oh, what do you call it? Like that buzzing sound almost, like tinnitus, whatever like the buzzing sound is in your ears. I'm getting a bit of that, which can sometimes happen when I put too much pressure on my jaw. I've probably just been awake for too long and I definitely need a warm compress and just some sleep and my magnesium. That is exactly what I'm going to do after this. I will be surprised if Legendary is not a 5-star. Like anytime I'm not reading this book, I am thinking about reading this book. But then I read it at night, which is the worst choice I could make because I end up falling asleep. But it's so good. Tella and Dante are just giving me all of the angst that I love in a YA fantasy that is somewhat heavy on the romance or that has got a lot of mentions of romance. And I'd argue every Stephanie Garber series has a big emphasis on love and first loves and romance and whatnot. And so this one is just so satisfying. I do have my theories regarding Dante and I want them to be right because I can't imagine them not being right. And I just think it'd be the best ultimate pair up, but I want them to end up together so bad. At this point, I can't even remember like who Tella ends up with or if she ends up with anyone because I can't remember that being mentioned in the Once Upon a Broken Heart series. And so I'm just excited to see what she's gonna do in the end with that coupling. And honestly, Legendary is just fascinating in terms of world expansion. The Fates and Legend being kind of juxtaposed in power, where essentially the Fates had to give up a bit of their power and then they were completely eradicated from Earth. And Legend's power comes from that sacrifice almost. And so they're all interconnected in a way. And that's why Legend is so powerful and why he is able to pull the Caraval games every once in a while. And I love that bit of lore. I love how much more we are diving into that entire system, which we didn't necessarily get to see in book 1. And the big premise of the book, the whole reason why the book kind of happens is is that Tella is trying to find her mom. Their mom disappeared when they were super young, and Tella was never really convinced that she died or that she is no longer on Earth, but rather that she fled and she's hiding somewhere or she was abducted. And she does get confirmation that there is a way to get her mom back, but the only way to get her back is to play Caraval, and that's why she's playing to begin with. And I'm super curious to see if her mom is actually where she is being told her mom is, if her mom is actually even alive, or if it's all a ruse, all a lie, just to get her to play the game because of somebody else's gain. And so I'm super fascinated on that end. I can't wait to see what Stephanie Garber is going to pull with that one, but I'm super excited to find out when I do get there. So yes, friends, I love you all so much. I am ready to skedaddle to bed. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it as always. Let a girl know what you've been up to these past few days. Are you redecorating for fall? I've been seeing everybody and their mothers redecorate for fall, and I'm wondering if I want to do it too, because I'm also thinking about Christmas decorations and how much I'm gonna have to get this time around, because last year when I moved into my apartment, I didn't buy anything for Christmas, and I know that's gonna be a big investment. And so I'm like, do I invest a bit in like fall pieces, or do I just go all out for Christmas? I feel like my living room is fall enough. Like I have a burnt orange couch and bar stool, so I feel like that counts, you know, in spirit of the fall that definitely does not exist here at Vienna Mom. But again, let a girl know what you guys have been up to. Are you redecorating for the fall? What are you currently reading? Have you finished any books recently? And if you reach the end of the video, let us leave a bird emoji in the comments in honor of Vespertine for one of the animal, well, I guess it's the only one. I keep calling the Revenant everything but a spirit. Like I've called it animal companion, a person, just like absolutely everything. But we do have a little bird called Trouble in Vespertine. So in honor of that, let's leave a bird emoji down in the comments if you reach the end of the video. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't done so already for more bookish content like this. And if you want to support the channel further, I do have a Patreon. It's always linked down below alongside all of my socials. And once more, thank you so much to Scentbird for sponsoring today's video. Don't forget that you can use code MREADS to get 55% off your very first month with Scentbird. I love you guys so much, and I shall see you on the next one.
Goodbye!